Hi, I'm Roger, and I'm coming to you from the Chama Canyon Wilderness here in northern New Mexico. And you're watching Multiple Sclerosis. The monster inside me, my story. Okay, welcome back, all my warrior friends. I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a while since my last show. Today is March 22nd, the day after the first day of spring. And we're hoping that things start warming up a little bit, start spending some more time outside. We had snow last week, I think 3 days in a row, which is a little bit unusual for the high desert here, but not so much. But we can take all that we can get, and we're certainly happy about that. A lot has gone on since my last show. It's been a while, a little over 8 weeks. And I had mentioned on my last show that I had seen the nurse at my urologist, and it asked her questions, and it led me to believe that the tumor that was removed was benign, and was super happy about that. And then a couple of days after my last show, I had an appointment with my urologist, and he did break the news to me, and he did tell me that my tumor was malignant, and that I was going to have to take care of some business with that. And I replied to him, and I says, well, I'm just going to tell this tumor to get in the back seat. I got other things to deal with, or at least tell the tumor to get in line with the MS and what's left of a brain tumor. So there's a lot going on. And he says, that's all fine, but we're going to start next week doing some new type of chemotherapy. And so the following week, I went in, and they did what they call a dip test, where they checked my urine, and at that point I had too much blood in my urine. I couldn't see it, but the lab test could see it, and so they told me that I couldn't do it that week, that I have to come back the next week. So I went back the next week and started up, and I had chemo for 6 weeks in a row on Wednesdays. I would go on Tuesday, do a dipstick test, and then once that was cleared, then they would set me up because they had to mix that poison down in the pharmacy at the hospital. It wasn't just something that just came in a jar and they could use it. They had to know that I was good to go. And then once I was there, the pharmacy would mix it up, and so it would be there for me, good to go and good and fresh. So I've been doing that, and I finally get a break. Last week was my first week off. And so that's kind of the reason why I didn't do any shows. I just did not have the energy. I had no appetite. Chemo is a rough thing, and I'll be the first one to admit it, but I just tried to fight through the best I could, But while I was receiving chemo, I did have an appointment with my neurologist, and she hadn't heard about the medication, the type of chemo that I'm getting, and so she did a little bit of research while I was there on site, and made the determination that some of the medicine that's in my chemo is also in my MS medication, Aubagio. And so I was getting double slammed with that neurological drug, and that was part of the reason why I was feeling like crap. But cancer and MS is rough, and I know there's a few people out there that have it. We just got to push on the best we can. I don't know how else to put it. I'm not gonna roll over and give up. That is not me. So she told me not to take my Aubagio until further directed. So I'm not taking my Aubagio anymore. I haven't had chemo, and the chemo's eventually going to wear off, and then I'm sure she'll give me the green light to start taking the Aubagio again. But I am just not sure when that'll be. But while I was at the neurologist, we kind of did the usual the routine check. She checked my strength, checked motion, asked me to walk in a straight line, which I cannot do. I did my best, and I told her that's going to be pushing it, so I tried my best and got through that. I was prescribed a new seizure medication because I do have seizures, and they're not the grand mal type. They're more of a visual, and they're in my right eye, and I lose vision kind of out in this area of my peripheral vision of my right eye. And so when I feel it coming on, I just sit down, and usually after about 10 minutes, they usually go away. But seizures are like concussions, and they can mount up. That's a traumatic brain experience or event, and they can mount up. So if we can get a control on them, then that's a good thing, and that's the reason why I'm taking that med. And I meant to write down the name of it, but I don't. I didn't, and so we'll just go with that. But we also talked about my restless legs a little bit, and that's a product of MS. And also, and I didn't know, a product of low iron content in your body. So she had me go do some lab tests to check numbers, and it did not indicate that I was low in iron, but she did increase my dosage from 600 milligrams to 900 milligrams a night of gabapentin, just to keep me from moving, because my legs move so much. It's just hard to get comfortable, and it's hard to get sleep, and so that works for me. But I have to take it a little bit earlier in the evening, because if I don't, I wake up super tired in the morning, and that's just the residual leftover effects from the gabapentin. But so I was happy she prescribed me a higher dose, the same pills, but she set me up to do 900 milligrams instead of 6. So I'm looking forward to seeing if that has any effect. Couple of things coming up. I am going to go to Dallas here in less than 2 weeks. I'm going to go on a Friday, and I think it's the 31st of March, and I'm going to go see an IndyCar race, which is something that has been on my bucket list for many years. I'm a huge IndyCar or car racing fan. IndyCars for a long time, because the Yunzers are local, and so that's why I always. But then I got into NASCAR, but I still want to go see an IndyCar race, and I'm looking forward to that. It's not going to be near as long as the NASCAR race that I saw last year, and so that's a good thing. And I don't think it's going to be as hot, so I'm looking forward to doing that. Then we have the Walk for the Cure, and that's coming up on April 15th. And this will be our 3rd annual Walk for the Cure. Looking forward to doing that. I have so many of my close friends that come and walk beside me, and it's just so touching to have those people there to support me. It just means so much. It does. And so my daughter talked me into going across town and taking part in the MS walk, where all the MSers will show up at. It's called Hoffmantown Baptist Church, and it's a 45-minute drive from here. But she wants me to get there and meet some other MSers and kind of partake in some of the festivities there. And then I think we're going to come back to Corrales, which is where we've had the walk the last 2 years in a row because of the COVID thing. They didn't want a huge group of people gathering together, especially MSers, and so we always did it in Corrales at Village Pizza, which is a super cool place. The food is great, and so we're going to come back and meet all my close friends there, and we're going to do a short walk and then stuff our faces full of delicious Village Pizza. And so I'm looking forward to hanging out with my friends. It just means so much. Again, I just have to mention it that they're just so special to me, and it's just so heartwarming that they come out and support me. I love those people. So I think I'm going to call it a show for now, but I do want to make some shout outs. I think that I have a lot of new viewers, and I want to say hello to them. And I have a lot of repeat viewers, and I want to thank you for coming back and watching the show. And I hope what I do here is a little bit of a learning experience. For those who don't know about MS, and now I'm dealing with cancer and MS together, it's going to be a tough, rocky road. And I get that. So I want to give some shout outs, and first of all, I want to give shout outs to all the MS warriors out there who are struggling with the monster. It's not easy. I get it. And just stay strong, please. I'm going to mention my gaming brothers, and that would be Terry, Matt, James, and Dan. And those guys are with me every other Friday night. We sit around and play board games, and And it's just much more than that. These guys are like brothers to me. And they often check on me to see if I need anything. And that, even though I don't need anything, that just really means a lot that they go out of their way and want to help take care of me. So I want to thank those guys. And then my next, I want to mention my MS Warrior friend in Texas, and her name is Anne-Marie. And Anne-Marie and I communicate just about every day via text and sometimes on the phone. And she's a warrior. She's struggling like the rest of us. And I just want to give a shout out to her and let her know that I'm thinking about her and appreciate her friendship, her newfound friendship. I really appreciate that. I also want to give a shout out to my friend Kenneth, who's in Virginia. And I also text with Kenneth just about every day, communicate. He's a huge car racing fan, so on weekends he and I are blowing up our phone lines, texting back and forth, making comments about what we're watching. So I really appreciate having Kenneth as a close friend. And all my local warrior friends, my friend Amy, who's here in Rio Rancho, and Amy's been on the show. I appreciate her watching the show, and I've talked to her a couple of weeks ago, and Amy's doing good. But I just want her to know that I'm thinking about Amy. And then also another MSer that I have met, and that would be Kurt. And he lives in Albuquerque. I've never met Kurt face to face. We've talked on the phone, we've texted, and I'm sure he watches the show. And I want to give a shout out to Kurt. I think I've pretty much covered everything today. I don't plan on spending another 8 weeks without doing a show, but the weather is getting nice, and so hopefully I'll be able to start doing some shows outside. That's one of my favorite things to do. And so I want to thank everyone for tuning in and watching the show. It really means a lot. And I just want to say thank you for watching. Fight the good fight every minute, every moment, every day. Never give up. Thank you for watching.